You made it, my friend. You're here on YouTube, and I want to waste absolutely no time. I want to dive right in. In this video, you're going to learn exactly how I'm helping top closers boost their energy, boost their focus, build a sustainable lifestyle that allows them to achieve peak performance on a daily basis. And even in some cases, really most cases, how that actually naturally leads to a byproduct of substantially increasing their monthly commissions. Now, before we dive into all that fun stuff, you're probably thinking, okay, he's maybe going to teach me something. He might have something good prepared for me today, but who the hell is this guy and why is he going to talk to me about health and performance? More than likely, you came from Instagram. That was the idea here with this video. And to give you some context, I have been in the health space for about just over 2.5 years. However, I've been an entrepreneur for about 3.5, and I've been living the performance and very healthy oriented lifestyle, which of course is the best lifestyle, for I'd say just over 3 years myself. Now, I've been in sales for about just over 18 months, so about a year and a half over there. And I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm the best salesman because I'm not. That's not my strength. That's probably your strength. But my strength is in coaching, it is in performance, and it is in health and lifestyle optimization. I've helped over 80 plus top performers. It's been a mix of closers, sales managers, even a few setters as well, and some entrepreneurs over the course here and there, more friends, more or less, that were entrepreneurs. So, with that being said, again, my strength is not completely in sales, but it is in coaching. I know that very well, and I believe that I am absolutely the best at teaching people in sales how to live that health and that performance oriented lifestyle so they can achieve peak performance on a daily basis. Now, with that being said, I want to again waste no time. I want to dive into what I have prepared for you today. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to give you 3 tactical shifts or habits that you can start to implement today. If you do these 3 things and you do them daily for 1 week, I guarantee you you'll become closer to feeling the absolute best you've ever felt before and performing better than you ever have before. And again, my primary goal here is to add value to you, and the very least that you can expect also is I'm just going to be honest, I'm going to be transparent, and I'm going to be integrable. And as you get to know me, or maybe you feel like you already know me a little bit, which is the goal, I like to joke, I love to have fun, but this is business, and I want to show you exactly what I have prepared for you and how that can help you depending on your current situation. I'm going to give you a brief overview on kind of the layout and the format that we're going to follow today, and then we're going to dive into what we have. So first things first, we're going to talk about what's really going on, okay? Some of the problems you may be facing, some that you may not, and some that you may encounter in the very soon future. I'm then going to go over exactly the solution and system that I've built, uniquely positioned itself to solve those problems that we just talked about, which are up here in the red. I'm then going to show you one of my most successful case studies, and not successful meaning that other clients haven't been successful, but Mike in particular here that we're going to review a bit later, his commitment is just off the wall and it's none like I've ever seen. And that's why he achieved outsized returns and he got insanely good results. And then I'm going to pre-handle some objections here for you, just some FAQs and concerns. And then, of course, at the very end, like anything else, I will have that offer for you. Now, somewhere in between, like I mentioned, I'm going to sprinkle in those 3 tactical shifts that you can make. I'm not going to tell you where because I want you to actually watch the video. Okay. But let's start at the top and let's go for it. So, as you can see here, again, you're the beast. You're probably doing very well on paper, whether you may be at 10, 12, 18, 25, maybe 30K plus a month. But if you're here, chances are you do know that maybe internally you could be doing better. Your health isn't the absolute best. Maybe you have subconscious mindset things about maybe you might burn out. Maybe there's something going on, but you're not sure what it is. So in that case, you may identify with none of these issues, which in that case is awesome. Or you maybe just want to never encounter them in the first place and you just want to get started on the right foot and just take off from there, which I can admire. However, you may also identify with all of these, which may be the case. And more than likely, you're probably going to identify with a few of these. And unfortunately, when usually there's a few of these that we see in somebody's lifestyle or that they're experiencing currently, very soon after, we tend to see the others follow along with that. When your health is giving you signs and symptoms and they're giving you these issues, it's not something to ignore. These are signs that something is going on. You're redlining, it's a red flag. And if you don't handle that, you'll start to encounter more serious issues. At the end of the day, I've really narrowed it down to 6 core issues or problems that they've been dealing with. Number one that I've seen so much is the afternoon crash. Typically, I'd say around 2 to 4 p.m. They can have a phenomenal morning, But then as the afternoon and the evening hits, the energy starts to come down. They're not really feeling the absolute best that they were, 4, 5, 6 hours ago. And the result of that afternoon crash is, again, your energy just tanks midday. Your productivity and your close rate drop. Now, because you're a beast, you probably know how to manage that and still close deals. However, if you're not at your best, it's not good enough. That's why you're here. You want to be the best and stay the best. Now, the long term impact of the afternoon crash is you're going to hit a ceiling on your performance. Okay. You're not going to be able to consistently go higher because you have things that are holding you back, whether you recognize them or not. And you're probably just going to rely on more caffeine to stay afloat, which we'll talk about the downsides of doing that. And now the quick fix, something you've already either tried or maybe something that you're thinking about trying if you're experiencing the afternoon crash, is just slam another coffee, right? Pace the house, maybe even go out for a healthy walk, or just eat some kind of snack, something to give you a quick boost and then hop back into your calls and have more energy. But the reason why that's not sustainable is because whenever you do that, you just spike yourself with more short term activity, more short term boost, but you end up crashing harder in the hours after, and of course, the long term. And you're just going to stay more and more inconsistent. And we both know that consistency compounds, right? So whether you're on the good side of consistency, you're going to see good results in the short, medium, and long term. When you're on the bad side of consistency, it's just a rolling snowball going downhill and it never works out. And eventually you're going to crash and you're going to hit burnout harder than you even would in the first place if you would have fixed it when you first experienced it. So that's the afternoon crash. Second biggest issue that I see is people just waking up very much foggy in the morning, groggy. Some people even tell me that it's normal. Hey, I thought it was normal at one point too, but I realize now it's not normal. And there's a different way to make sure that doesn't happen. And also just having inconsistent focus, having the energy levels wane, not being very consistent throughout the day like it should be. The result of that is it can be hard to lock in on calls, especially in the afternoon. You can forget things. I'm sure, if you get an objection, obviously the first part of getting an objection, right, is to neutralize it, right? Make sure you're on the same side of the table as a prospect. Let them know you're there to help. Let's say you forget that first step. If your mind isn't there, you're not clear, you can forget things like that are super important. And you're also just going to fail to build really deep personal connections because, again, your focus is not completely on your prospect. You're not going to be able to sit there and fully understand what they're saying and why they're saying it. Okay. And the long term impact of that is over time, right? Maybe not in a week, but over time, your edge is going to dull. It's going to start to drop. And the longer that happens, your confidence is going to go down with it and your performance is going to become unpredictable. You can predict your KPIs, right? You can know all your metrics and you can duplicate them the following month. But if you're not doing it properly with your health, again, it's not going to be able to be predictable and consistent like you want it to be. And the quick fix that maybe you've tried or maybe you're thinking about trying, one of my favorite, double espresso, nootropics. They kind of label nootropics as like smart drugs. They kind of enhance your focus. We use stuff like that in the program. However, they need to be used properly and timed in a certain way. Or just blasting music to force focus. This never works out well because, again, boom, why it's not sustainable. You have that quick increase, but you have that harder crash. And oftentimes you become more scattered and more anxious as a result. Moving on, okay, you have wrecked, inconsistent sleep. This one sucks. And the reason why it sucks is because whether you realize it or not, sleep is 1/3 of your life. The reason it is 1/3 of your life is because sleep is literally where you're regenerating your cells and you're recovering your body from whatever mental, physical, emotional debilitation or stress that it's had. Sleep is where you recover all those things. If you're not sleeping at the highest level properly, and then on top of that, you're not even doing that consistently, you're going to be in a very bad spot, not only in the short term, but very much in the long term. Okay. And the result of that is, again, you're going to wake up groggy. It's going to be hard to get going in the morning. You're going to be fogged up. Maybe you're not going to be completely fogged up, but you're not going to be crystal clear mentally like you can be and like you should be. And you're just going to be under recovered. All right. The long term impact of that, of course, low T, never want that. Poor mood. Prospects can smell that the same way they can smell commission breath. Brain fog, that doesn't help anybody, not you, your prospects, or your commission check. And every day starts and ends harder, which over time just gets worse and worse. Quick fix, melatonin. By the way, quick fact on melatonin. Most melatonin is not even regulated properly by actual governmental standards. So if it even says, let's say 100 milligrams on a bottle in the store, there's no regulation to actually prove it's 100 milligrams. They've run several studies and tests where it's either been sometimes 10 or 100x fold minus or plus what it actually said on the bottle. So please stay away from melatonin. Your body produces that naturally Just make sure you let your body do it properly. Don't use an external stimulus or external source like in a bottle to get it. Okay, so a little quick tip on melatonin. And as for weed or alcohol, another quick tip on these, don't mind me, I'm just a complete nerd, okay? Weed and alcohol, you may think that you feel more sleepy, so maybe you're getting better sleep or you're asleep longer, but all it's really doing is what's called sedating you. And when it's doing that, it's almost like putting a fogged up screen, so you feel like you're sleeping, and maybe you'll still wake up and feel energized, you won't feel that tired, but over time, you're literally just fogging up your system and you're basically disrupting and almost blocking certain stages of your sleep that are supposed to be happening that are blocked when you're under the influence of weed or alcohol. So please don't do those. They're a terrible, terrible short-term fix. And again, there's a better and right way to do this, and it's not using those two drugs. Or screen binging to force sleep, right? Whether it's a podcast or whether it's a YouTube video, again, you're still stimulating your mind when it's supposed to be relaxing and recovering. And why this isn't sustainable? Because you knock yourself out, right? You sedate yourself, but you never actually fully recover. And again, over the long term, it drains you. A lot of people, and I'm not saying this is you, but a lot of people, they don't care about what's happening so much in 20 or 30 years or 10 years. They only care about what's happening now. And I get that, you're young, most of you, you're feeling unstoppable, unbreakable. You've achieved a lot, you're probably already successful, but you're not gonna live forever, first of all. And secondly, you have to think about these things down the road. Everybody wants to party and have fun. And I'm not saying that's you, but look at the same people with those mindsets and those behaviors and habits. Look at them when they're 40, 50, and 60 years old. They're not in a good place, my friend. Really, they're not. They're having chronic issues, disabilities. Their kids are having problems. Things are not going well for them at all. So please, I encourage you, think about the long term. Okay, it's not always so much about what's happening now or even in just the next 5 or 10 years. Think about 20, 30 years down the line, because that's when you're really going to see long-term problems. And I still want to feel great in 30, 40 years if you ask me. I don't just want to feel great now. Okay, let's move on. Relying on caffeine, nicotine, and willpower. Now, there's a time and place for things like caffeine and even nicotine. And of course, willpower is just constant. But when you're relying on it and you become dependent on it, the result of that is just good. You're going to feel uptight. You're going to get anxious after a while. You're going to build up a tolerance. So it's not going to be as potent or effective. And you're just going to get shaky underneath for a while. You may not feel this now, but again, you do it long enough, you don't make the right changes, you'll feel these effects. And on the long term, your system is going to burn out. Okay. Your nervous system is going to get depleted. You're going to fry your nervous system. Your energy is going to drop. You're going to have no sense of predictability in your energy levels, and the stimulants stop working because of the dependence and tolerance you've built up. Now, the quick fix, throw down another coffee, more nicotine, more pre-workout, just push through even harder. Okay. Go ahead, try it. See where that gets you. It's not going to get you very far for very long. Why it's not sustainable, we covered this. You just fry your nervous system. And then you have fear of burnout, right? Whether you feel it, you want to admit it, you don't want to admit it, fear of burnout is real. You scale back your output, you take breaks just to protect your health because you don't want to burn out or you're thinking about it possibly happening. Long-term impact, you stagnate, right? Scaling just feels super risky instead of exciting. Scaling and pushing your limits should be something you're looking forward to do, not something that holds you back in any kind of way, okay? And the quick fix, which is probably going to throw you off, weekend resets, trips, or checking out to recover. Again, short-term fix, long-term, you're going to crash harder, and it is not sustainable because although you'll turn off for a moment, you're not fixing the underlying system that's broken, okay? And last but not least, this one actually hits home for me because this is what I personally went through. And I've had several clients come to me expressing something's wrong, but they have no clue what it is, which is why data is so important, the same way it is for when you're trying to hit KPIs, okay? Tried everything, but the energy and performance stays inconsistent because you don't know where the leak in your energy is or where the deficiency is in your health. And the long-term impact, you waste time, you waste energy, even money, and you just run around in circles like a dog chasing his tail. And you just express frustration time after time for nothing that seems to work. You're not getting the result you're looking for. Quick fix, copying routines, maybe talking to a few friends, trying random supplements you heard about from your favorite fitness coach on Instagram, trying the next diet, or just going through YouTube University like I did, just trying to figure it out, but never actually looking internally and taking the right testing and protocols to fix the underlying issue. And why it's sustainable? You're guessing with your health, you have no data or science, and guessing never scales. Let me ask you something. On your sales calls, right, especially where you're at now in your career, more than likely, you're not guessing or winging it on your calls, right? You've done role plays, you have the scripting, you have the tonality, you know your objection handling, you know your follow up processes, you know where to find money when calls cancel. You know all these things, you have a system. So why are you winging it when it comes to your health when I know that you know, and we both know the truth is that is the fundamental, that is the bedrock of your performance, is how you show up and how you feel. A lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times dictates your performance. So why are you winging that, but you won't wing it when it comes to your sales calls? Okay. If you haven't thought about that, think about it. See where maybe your mind takes you with that. And with that being said, let's talk about OptiLife. Okay. OptiLife is a personalized system. It's custom made to every client I work with. I don't do group coaching. I don't do all that fancy stuff. I just work with people one on one for 4 months, and we custom make protocols and a system around you. And my main objective, listen to me, please. My main objective is so that after the program, I can call you and vice versa. You can call me, and I know that you have the lifestyle, you have the protocols, you have the awareness, and you have the knowledge to predictably and consistently get the same amazing results you got in the program far after the program. And also think about the chain effect and impact that makes in other people's lives, whether it's other closers you're talking to, or just friends or families, nieces and nephews, your kids. If you embody the right things, the right lifestyle, the right habits, what kind of impact does that make to everybody that gets a little rub off on that, or that sees you doing it and takes inspiration from it, or asks you a question, you tell them about it, and they implement that in their life? What kind of impact can we really make by doing that? So my goal is I'm after the lifestyle, I'm after the predictability and being able to consistently get results far after the program. And that's why not only is your system personalized, but it's the system that you can run for life, and it can always get better because you have more data, you have more protocols that come out, all things that we go over in the program. So you're going to see here, I'm just going to give you the layout breakdown. In the red, you have the core pillars or problems that a lot of people are facing or that you may be facing. In the blue there, you'll then see the unique OptiLife solution positioned to solve these unique problems. In the green, these are more of the short-term wins and effects that you're going to feel primarily in your work and on your calls. And in the black is what you're going to see is more of the long-term sustainability and lifestyle focused results that you'll get far after the program's over and more towards the end of the program, 3 to 4 months in. Whereas typically within 2 weeks to almost a month, you'll usually be seeing results right here in the green already. Okay, so let's go one by one. For the afternoon crash in OptiLife, we're going to rebuild your energy. Okay, we're going to make you custom wind up routines, custom wind down routines. We're going to rebuild your energy with specific tailored light, fuel, and movement protocols around your lifestyle and your schedule. The results of that in the short term is you're going to feel absolutely locked in on your calls, whether you have 4 calls or you have 9 calls during the day. And your afternoon wins are also going to feel like your morning wins, which typically there's a drastic difference. The afternoon usually has a lot less energy than the morning does, and it doesn't need to be that way. You can have that same level of energy throughout the whole day. Okay. And on the long term trajectory, that's going to lead to having very high levels of long term stamina that last all day without any stimulants. And if you do have stimulants, they're not just giving you that short term, you place them strategically so you really get the benefit from them. You're going to have high output and low fatigue, and you're going to have energy that actually scales with you. You're going to know your energy peaks and troughs, and you're going to know that rhythm. So, one thing we actually do in the program is we time certain activities around your energy rhythms. So, certain things that require more energy, we can strategically place it to get outsized returns and really, really good results. So, that's the afternoon crash. To solve the brain fog and the inconsistent focus, we're going to run very advanced labs. We're going to go through your hormones, we're going to go through your gut, we're going to go through your oral health, and we're going to go through your brain chemistry. Okay. And I take care of all of that for you. And we're going to literally recalibrate from your brain down to your gut for clarity on command. There's going to be no more brain fog, and your focus is going to be consistent and predictable. And the result of that in the short term is you're going to be razor sharp on your calls, all your calls, and you're going to have that deep, consistent focus day after day, almost as if you're going into a deep work session, but obviously on a call. Imagine that same state of focus when you're talking to somebody. How much more can you understand and really connect with that individual? And on the long term, you're going to have a clean head, you're going to have clean execution, you're going to have the mental edge that doesn't fade, and you're going to feel switched on all the time until you decide when to switch off, which there's protocols to do that properly. Wrecked inconsistent sleep. This is huge. Okay, we're going to make you a customized data-driven sleep system with actual data. I don't want to say gadgets, but tools more or less to unlock deep, effortless recovery. Okay. I'm not going to sit here and act like people don't fall off the bandwagon. People don't, life doesn't get busy. Of course it does. But with the things that we do, with the protocols we implement, with how we make these custom protocols, if you do fall off, you will recover 4 times as fast as anybody else or faster than you ever have in your life. We're basically accelerating your recovery like you've never seen or felt before. And I can promise that. So again, you're going to wake up recharged, not chasing coffee, but having it when you're ready at the proper time. And you're going to feel your recovery and also see in your metrics. It's not always just about how you feel. We got to look at the data. And it's not always just about the data, but it's also about how you feel. In OptiLife, we combine the two. It's not just one over the other. And on the long term, you're going to have unshakable sleep every single night, and you're going to have higher drive, better mood, and a sharper edge. Sleep becomes your superpower. On my home screen on my phone, I have a picture of, some accomplishments that I want to achieve. And I also have in there a little text that says, sleep is my edge. And I can say that very confidently. Most people do not sleep properly. And if they do, they don't do it consistently. But it is an absolute game changer. Again, it's the bedrock and fundamental of your performance. If you can get that right and do it consistently, life changes. I have a quote, and this is when I did my own experiment, basically putting myself through my program months ago. I documented it all on IG and on my threads. But I like to say, life doesn't get easier, but through full health and lifestyle optimization, you become more equipped to handle whatever life throws at you. So life doesn't get easier, but it's almost like you have all the armor, you have all the perks, you have all the tools. You're fully dialed in. Whatever life can throw at you, you're slicing through it with your sword like butter instead of getting hit at like a rock. Now, relying on caffeine, nicotine, and willpower. Okay? It's okay to have them, but we can't be dependent on them. We're going to reset your nervous system because right now it may be fried if this is one of the problems you're encountering. And we're going to rebuild your system to have clean, lasting energy. You already have everything you need. Your body gives you everything you need. You just have to listen to it and you have to optimize properly so it can be sustainable. Okay? And the short-term result of that is just being very smooth, focused, and having the drive without the crash. You're not going to feel anxious anymore, and you're going to have that mental edge and physical edge in your performance at the gym or lifting, whatever it may be. And you're not going to have that mental clutter and chaos. You're going to be able to think straight, think clearly, and be able to attack problems with the full capacity of your brain and your body. And in the long term, you're going to have energy on demand when you call for it because you're going to know your peaks and troughs, your rhythms. You're not going to have any crutches holding you back, no bad habits. You're going to have a calm body and a clear mind. If you have a clear mind, the body follows the mind. Okay? And you're going to have unforced performance at your peak, again, on command. Fear of burnout. We're going to build you a recovery-led system designed to scale with you, not break you. So the metrics are going to help track what is your progressive scale over time. And then with that, when we get certain percentages or patterns that we're noticing, we're going to help the metrics tell us the story. And if we see certain things in a good way or in a bad way, we're going to implement certain custom protocols to make sure that you don't stray off for too long, too far. Okay. And that's where the recovery-led system comes in. It's designed to scale with you and the data as it comes in, not just a quick fix. It's personalized to you. And on the short term, you're going to be able to consistently push hard, knowing when to kind of come off the gas, not let off it all the way, but knowing when to come off of it and not feel like you're second guessing, but doing it with all the proper data. And you're going to be more composed, more consistent. Okay. And on the long term, you're going to be very more persistent and have far more resilience in your personal life and work life on your calls. And you're going to be able to grow without the crash, but instead count on more cash. And of course, you're going to have the freedom to scale without fear. You're going to be excited to keep going, push more, level up, and you're not going to be wondering, oh man, am I going to ruin this or is this going to crack when I do this? No, you're going to have all your facts in order and you're going to be ready to push knowing you can achieve it. Okay. And last but not least, no clue what's actually wrong. Again, we're going to run very advanced labs based on that data. You're going to talk, the data is going to talk. We're going to sit down and we're going to optimize together and we're going to make you tailored custom protocols around your schedule and around your life. And we take all the guesswork out of that. And that's going to lead to very fast clarity, no more guesswork, real consistent momentum, and you're going to fix what's off and you're going to feel it fast. Again, tons of people, and I was one of them, okay? I've been through all this myself. Trying to eat healthy, right? Sounds good, right? But it's subjective. There's no data. I've literally had a client, he came to me and he's about 40 years old. He's a sales manager, but years prior to that, he just had a very unhealthy lifestyle. He ate very, very late at night. late night snacking, a lot of bad habits, drinking, smoking. He was very inconsistent in his sleep. And 2 weeks after we started to work together, he got kidney failure. And the reason why that happened was he went to a professional doctor, he got multiple consultations, was literally because those bad habits he did for so long, even when he tried to eat healthy for the past 3 or 4 years compared to the 40 years he's been alive, it wasn't enough to reverse all the bad stuff that happened. And in doing that, he was trying to eat healthy with whatever he knew, but he never got his gut microbiome tested. He never looked at his hormone levels. So once we started doing that, he felt the difference, but it was too late. His kidneys already failed, and now he needs to have a kidney transplant. So he's in a better position now because he has the awareness, he has the data, he has the knowledge. But again, was he thinking about that back when he was 18, 19 to 25, 30 years old, doing all those bad behaviors and habits? No, but now look where he's at. He's got kidney failure. I'm not saying that to rub it in his face. It's a reality check. The decisions you make come with consequences. So be careful and understand, what you're actually doing. So with the data, we can pinpoint the exact deficiencies, the exact problems. There's no more guesswork, and we can actually provide a solution that is tailored to the actual problem going on, not just taking our best guess at it. And the long-term result of that is total control over your body and your output. You'd have that predictability, and you have a system that grows with you over time. There's no more guesswork. It's just results because we're using precision. Okay? That's OptiLife. There's far more to it, but that's the absolute core of it. Okay? Now I want to talk to you about Mike. Mike, if you're watching this, bro, I'm super proud of you. You're an absolute beast. We have a call coming up tomorrow, so I'm excited to hop back on with you. But I want to talk about Mike, okay? My boy Mike, man. So before OptiLife, as you can see, beautiful background here. Mike had just moved to Colombia around the beginning of the year. He was slamming 2 coffees a day. Obviously, the first one within the first 10 minutes that he woke up, and he jumped into calls like a few minutes after. Literally, you can see here, my man Mike. He jumped out of bed, put on his white shirt, hop on his coffee, and he's looking at some kind of script, whatever's on his computer here, before he's about to hop into his call. He even told me he would skip meals because he wanted to make another sale instead of actually go ahead and eat for more energy for his calls later on. And he also told me his main challenges, again, he wasn't experiencing all of them that you saw, but his main challenges were the afternoon crash. And he had an even deeper crash of focus around 4 p.m. And he would just wake up groggy, tired, and exhausted, not every day, but a few times per week. But he wanted to be the best, right? He wanted to be the top performer. And at the time, he was taking home about just under 16K a month. You can see here in the screenshot below. But he told me he knew he had untapped potential. He was in a new place. It was 2025, and he wanted to break through. He didn't want to play the guesswork game anymore, and the time was here. So again, he spoke. I listened. We looked at the data after we tested, and we optimized together. Again, the program is 4 months, but not even 4 months in, he already doubled his commissions as a byproduct, as well as his energy and focus. He built that sustainable lifestyle. He had no better script, right? No more better objection handling techniques, but cleaner energy, a personalized recovery system that was built around his lifestyle. And again, Mike, I'm super proud of you, brother. And the reason why Mike, he is one of my best client results. Not to say my other clients haven't gotten results like I was saying in the beginning, but because his level of commitment was like none I've ever seen. I mean, when this guy came to me and we got him onboarded, he put everything aside. He said, I'm going to listen. I'm going to take this seriously. And that's why he got what he got before the program was even over. Okay. And of course, he's not crashing anymore in the afternoon. He knows not to skip a meal. He doesn't have that brain fog. He's not waking up groggy anymore. And he's laser focused. Guys, look at this man. Dialed in. If like a train were to crash in front of him, he wouldn't even notice. He's that focused. Okay. So laser focused and grounded to really connect, really understand his prospects. And we both know it's not just about what the prospects are saying. It's what do they mean, right? And we need to seek to understand. And also, even though this wasn't like a main objective he came to me with, he even shredded down a few pounds and he was feeling healthier than ever. No more thought of burnout. I mean, it looks like he just came back from an endurance run over here, just completely crushing it. And again, as promised, he had a system that he can now run for life. And not only did he transform his health, that was a liability a few months ago, but now into his secret weapon and his edge over others. And as you can see here, literally, almost exactly, a double in commissions in just under 3 months. And as you can see here, this is also a recent case study, probably maybe like just short of 2 weeks ago. Again, bro, literally sharper than ever, doubled his cash collection in 2 months. I think right after here when he did respond, I think he said he's shooting for 40. So he's going for it. And I know he's going to be able to do it because he has the system. Just like he has the predictability in his calls and his data, he has that same system for his health now. And again, I have tons of more other client results, but I wanted to highlight Mike here because a lot of times I'm not guaranteeing anybody's going to double their commissions. But if you optimize your health and you do it very well and you're consistent and you commit to it because you're literally changing your life and your lifestyle, you can literally have results like this. And he didn't change anything in his sales process. He just took care of what allows him to show up at the highest level possible. And I know that you can do that too. And now FAQs and concerns, okay, just to do some objection handling here. Before we actually hop into that, I now want to give you the 3 tactical shifts, okay? The first one is as soon as you wake up after your feet get off the bed and onto the ground, I want you to hydrate like an athlete. And the way to do that is get fresh spring water, preferably in a glass, and then put in a pinch of Himalayan sea salt or Celtic sea salt. This is going to actually recharge your cells because now you have electrolytes to go with it. And ideally, this isn't an exact estimation, but ideally, whatever you weigh in pounds, divide that by 2, and that's the suggested amount of fluid ounces you should be consuming. It's not exactly accurate, but it's fairly accurate. So for me, right, I'm just under about 150 pounds. So right around like 75, 70 fluid ounces of water I need to consume per day. I consume typically at least like 25 to 30 fluid ounces within the first 2 hours in the morning, way before noon. Okay. And that gets rid of any brain fog, even though I don't wake up with any. I feel very mentally clear. I'm very sharp and I'm on the ball like this. Okay. So that's the first shift. The second one is also done in the morning. Right after that, I want you to go outside for a walk or even a slight jog, no more than 10 minutes max, and get sunlight while you do it. If you have contacts in or you have glasses, that's fine. Keep them on because they help focus the light. But get that sunlight because you're going to reset and resync your circadian rhythm that helps build the predictability in your energy rhythms. If you stay consistent with it, so does your level of energy. Okay, so get that morning movement, right? Get your posture, feel grounded, be in the moment, be present, and then also get your sunlight at the same time right after you hydrated. And you're also getting some form of little exercise, even though it's nothing too crazy. And the last thing that I want you to do is those 2 are for the morning, things that we actually include in the wind up routine. But even more importantly, I want you guys to build your own wind down routine. Okay. Your wind down routine is probably going to be somewhere around an hour, maybe an hour and a half before you go to bed. But when you do that, you're going to give your body time and you're going to signal to it and talk to it. Hey, we're going into that stage of the night or whatever we do now. It's to slow down, it's to relax, it's to bring your brain activity down so we can prepare to actually relax and get into that stage where we're going to recover our mind and our body during sleep. Okay, if you don't do this, it's like imagine you're driving your car on the highway. Let's just say you're going 60 miles per hour. Can you drive from 60 miles an hour on the highway to just pulling into your garage and just parking right there? Is that possible? Yes or no? The answer is no. You have to brake. You have to hit the brakes, right? Your evening routine is those breaks, right? So you finish your work, you put on your blue light blockers, or you take a hot shower, so you force your core temperature to come down. You read a chapter of your book, so it's not so stimulating, or maybe you have a conversation, not about business, not about role plays, not about script reading, but just about something that can help you calm down, help you relax, bring your brain activity down, so when you go to sleep, you're ready to fully get your deep restorative sleep to fully recover. Remember, tomorrow's performance starts with tonight's wind down. I want you to remember that. Okay. If you do those 3 things on a daily basis, you do them for a week consistently, I guarantee you'll shift from first or second or whatever gear you're in to the next gear up, and you'll be closer to peak performance and also not feeling like you're burnt out ever. All right. And now the FAQs and concerns. Sean, how fast am I going to see results? All I care about is results, results. Hey, I agree with you. I'm right there with you. Most clients feel results within the first 1 to 2 weeks. I can promise that because it's habits and it's shifts and it's personalized testing and data we're working with. However, just like anything else, the real transformation happens usually after the first 3 or 4 months. As you saw, Mike up top, he came in, we got tested immediately. We got the data rolling. He never missed a call. We had one-on-one accountability, I'd say almost every other day because, I'm not going to be on you every day. That's a little much, especially as a very busy guy like he was, and I'm sure you are too. But within just under 3 months, he had a massive shift, doubled his commissions, got rid of all those problems he had, and now we're really focused on the sustainability in the latter half of the program. Okay. How much time will this take to manage? Aside from the coaching call that we have once every 2 weeks, I'd say maybe an hour a week. You're not filling out spreadsheets. You're not doing anything. It's just about implementing your habits. It's about tracking certain things that we use that are automated, but there is still a little bit of legwork that needs to be done. You do need to have that commitment. So again, less than 1 hour a week, but you're not doing some performance hacks anymore. Okay, these are real ROI providing habits. Okay, and every protocol is plug and play after it's personalized and customized to you and your lifestyle. But Sean, I already eat clean. I already work out. Like, I'm pretty sure I'm already good. Like, yeah, maybe I do crash in the afternoon or whatever. My sleep could be better, but I'm good, dude. Like, I work out and I eat healthy. I don't think I need this. Yeah, you're right. Maybe you don't need it. Maybe you shouldn't have it. But at the end of the day, those kind of clients that say those things usually get the best results with me because oftentimes they've plateaued and they're thinking they're doing everything right, but there's far more levels of optimization to go. And that's where we help them get there. And again, this isn't a BS workout plan, okay? Everything is tailored to you. I can't say that enough. I have everything in one place, completely tailored to you in your data, in your goals. That's it, okay? You need a deeper system, and we build that system together. This isn't surface level coaching. We're going internally so we can fix what shows up externally, all right? Will I need to cut caffeine or follow a strict diet? Quick answer, no. You don't need to. You can still have those things. The only difference is we time them differently. Okay? Quick tip here to avoid the afternoon crash, given you've done everything else right, you just want to delay your caffeine in the morning for about 2 hours. You let your body naturally wake itself up instead of going ahead and forcing it to wake up with caffeine. So it's just things like that. You can still enjoy things, you can still do the things you want. There's just no strict, rigid rules, but there's guidelines that you need to follow to get the results that you're looking for. But I travel a lot. I don't know if I can stick to this. I don't know if I can commit when I travel 2, 3, 4, 7, 12 times a week. So I don't really know if I can do this, Sean. No problem. Okay. OptiLife is built around the person. Whether your schedule was cramming and it's completely messed up, or whether your schedule was very structured and predictable, OptiLife can be tailored around you. Okay. Again, this is about flexibility and about precision. Mike travels probably, I'd say, from the case study above. I mean, he just moved to Colombia, but he lived in Miami, and his business partner, Terry, lives in Arizona. So I think at that point, he's traveling maybe 1 to 2 times a month, and you still saw the results that he got. So unless you're traveling every other day, which probably isn't the case, then yeah, maybe it'll be hard to get consistent sleep, but 9 out of 10 times, it's not a problem. And again, OptiLife can still solve that. All right. So with that being said, that is my presentation that I have for you today. Okay. If you feel like what you saw today was something that you've possibly been looking for, or something that you may even need, knowing your current situation and knowing the problems and what that can lead to, I do have my calendar link below in the description. Go ahead and book a call with me if you'd like. What we're going to do is we're going to sit down for 15 minutes and we're going to do a performance audit. I want you to tell me what's going on. I'll probably be able to tell you why those things are happening. And then if we align on a personal level, which you'll know if we align here through the presentation, if you like me, like my style of coaching, like what I presented, then we can have that discussion and we'll get right to work. You're probably already asking, well, it depends on how much it is. Remember, we have to get out of price-based thinking. We have to get into actual value-based thinking, as Jeremy Miner would say, one of my good mentors. Anyway, but no, investment-wise, it is at least a minimum investment of 4 figures. So if you can't allocate at least that to optimize your health, I completely understand. Still send me a message. I'll see how I can help. I'm never going to turn down help for people. It's just I won't be able to help you to the full extent. And also just to add a perspective, as Jeremy Miner would also like to say, me and you both know that you're going to pay for your health one way or another. You're either going to pay for it in the long term, you're going to be in a hospital bed, you're going to have chronic issues or whatever it may be, or you're going to pay for it by paying for the proper mentorship or guidance and getting the knowledge, using the data to get custom protocols. You're going to pay for your health one way or another. Okay. It's just your choice. How do you want to pay for it? So again, if you align with that, you can book a call with me below. If not, no problem at all. I hope I at least added some sort of value to you. I brought you some sort of awareness and clarity. And from that, that's my presentation for you. I hope you enjoyed. Go ahead and follow my YouTube channel for more valuable things around health and personal development and inspiration. And I'll see you around, my friend.